Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkandbutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making video. And we have got Medley Mix and Autumn Leaves is what we're playing with today to do some heat embossing, because I hadn't done any heat embossing for a little while. And I was making some other cards and I was thinking about this world wheat colour, which seems to have suddenly become a very, I don't know, almost like a permanent fixture on my desk. I seem to be reaching for it a lot after initially thinking, gosh, this is a bit of a funny colour. I actually really like it. Well, that might, I'm sure some of you will be like, whoa. But I've been using it as a bit of a substitute for gold in places as well. So I thought, I wonder what would happen if we had some gold embossing on there. And I came up with this, and I just put on some black, and I've heat embossed a leaf and created a background and stuff. Did a bit of tone on tone inking just to make that pop a little bit, and I brought in the gingham ribbon, but also coloured it with the wild wheat Stampin' Blend marker just to tone it in. And I did the same with copper clay with copper embossing powder. So that was really cool. So we've done gold, we've done copper, and I've kind of figured we had to do the silver. So I'm going to do the same thing with Pebbled Path and silver. Okay, so you'll see as well, I did change up the design a little bit. I felt like the black was a little heavy on the background on this one. I think it kind of carries it off, but I think it would have been a bit much with the copper. So with the copper, I just framed in the black and put in the layer, but the copper clay piece in the background has been tone on tone inked, so I've still used the copper clay ink just to tone it a little bit. Okay, so here we are then, piece of Pebbled Path here. Because we're doing heat embossing, we're going to be using Versamark ink. We will be using Pebbled Path to do some, like, you know, blending over the top and stuff. In fact, I need to grab a brush. There we go, there's the grey brush there. So Versamark ink, we're going to, let's just pop that over there. Silver embossing powder is ready to go, and then I'm also going to rub over the cardstock with this embossing buddy. So I'm using the sort of essentials kit. Get the tray, this tray, and this embossing buddy bag thingy, which you wouldn't think would make such a difference, but it does. The other bits that you get in the kit are a little brush, which is really useful for, you know, just clearing up stray bits of powder, cleaning off your tray, all that kind of thing. And then we've got these really great reversible tweezers to hold on to your stuff while it's getting heated up. So really nice little tool there. So I'm going to have the powder ready to go over there in the tray, and we need the leaf, and we need the little crisscross design from the Medley Mix. Little secret is, I actually did 6 on this one, ended up covering most of that one, so I just did 5 for this one. And you wouldn't really notice, so we'll do 5 of the little patterned crisscross thing that we've got here. I think 5 will fit across the bottom, across the length of this. Give it a go. So you don't want to. It is slow drying ink, but you still don't want to dilly-dally. Sorry, I can't see the, I'm just going to bring that closer to me to stamp it, because I need to see the light of where I'm going. I just can't quite do that with the camera angle there. No, I don't think I am going to fit that in across there. So we'll do another one over here. And try not to maul the card too much though, because it's the oils on your fingers. Just natural oil, you know. It's not like it's just a fact that we have grease in our fingers, so we can just about see that that's been stamped. And believe it or not, this works really well on the leaf, so we'll just take the pad to the stamp and just give that a lot of tapping. Even though this is a distinctive, I didn't know whether it would emboss that well, but I was actually quite pleased with how it came out. So you do get a little bit of the sort of variation. I'd like to be able to squeeze it in that spot there and not waste too much of this Pebble Path card, so I think it will fit about there. So we're just going to give that a really good firm press. I did find that the middle didn't quite stamp when I was doing the samples, but so we'll chuck some powder over the top of that, just let it fall down, and give it a really good sort of flick with your fingers to get off any excess, but you don't want to knock it so hard that it all falls off. Okay, so you can see some variation, if you like, on the leaf there. Okay, so obviously it doesn't emboss, it's still going to emboss and go shiny, but you'll have sort of less dense bits, if you like. So the tidy tray means that we can just funnel that back into the container, and we can use the little brush here to make sure we get it all. So that's a nice little tray there that we can use, and we can pop away that powder. And then we can hold on to things with our tweezers, right? She says, trying to get them between the thing. So that's going to help us to hold on to that without getting it too close to the heat. So I do need to heat emboss this, so the heat gun is really loud. Okay, now I hear that embossing guns or heat guns are kind of this ASMR stuff, and some people really love it. If you love it, great, brilliant. If you don't, then you're going to want to turn down the volume on the video until I'm done. Okay, so I'm just going to get that heated up then off to the side before I bring it to the cardstock. I'm then going to heat over the top a little bit and then heat underneath. I'm going to try and keep it in shot so that you can see that it's turning, but I can't guarantee that because I'm trying to make sure I don't burn myself. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be back. fantastic. Look how brilliant and shiny that is. I'm hoping that you were able to see that turning as it went. Just to say, if you sort of warm the front, then heat from the back, I personally find that you get a much better, glossier result. That is my experience. Okay, so if you are finding it's not coming out quite as you would like it, try that. It might make all the difference. So that's going to take a little time to cool down, so I'm just going to set that down, and the paper's going to warp like crazy, but it doesn't matter for this because we're punching stuff out, and we are you know, we'll be able to glue it all down and stuff, so that's not going to be too much of a bother, apart from the fact that it sometimes makes it a bit tricky to get the punch in. So the punches, these two punches, these come in the ink and tiled bundle that's in the annual catalogue, but they coordinate with the Medley Mix as well. Okay, and they come as a pair, so you get the stamp set and the two punches in a bundle. Okay, really cool. Like them a lot. Okay, so we can get our in fact, yes, that's fine, we'll get these punched out first. That's fine. Just trying to decide what order to do stuff in, because there's a few bits and pieces that just need to make sure that we get dry and stuff, but it's fine, we can just pause and come back to it. So we're just going to punch these guys out. Just want to line it up in the aperture of that punch there. And you know what, if you miss a bit, it's not going to matter too much. The only reason that's not sliding across is just because the paper's like warped in the heat, so it's just catching a little bit on those lumps and bumps that have been created as we've heated it. That is all. Okay, so that's all of those. So those are ready. The other thing I want to just quickly do is stamp the sentiment. So I'm just going to grab this Happy Birthday from that set. I'm just going to use an ink cube just to ink that up. Actually, I should have punched it first, that's fine. Just going to punch out one of the other shapes from the edge there. And we're just going to pop this Happy Birthday on here, because this will just take a minute or two to dry. So that can be doing while we are die cutting the leaf. Nice little sentiment. It's really cute. I think this could, you know, I know there's a bit of ribbon on it, but it's gingham. It's a bit boyish, right? Or you could just skip the ribbon. I think it does sort of add something to the overall layout. Just need to die cut this. So we've got the coordinating dies from that Autumn Leaves bundle. So you're going to make sure that's taped down, because again the cardstock has warped, which means it's not going to sit flat on that cutting plate. Okay, so I'll just run that through. Could fussy cut it if you don't have the dies. Did you think about maybe you know, using a similar layout, but maybe swapping the leaf for a die, because it's you don't really see grey silver leaves, although you do get silver birch trees, don't you? They're one of my favourite trees, silver birches. So there we go, there's all our elements. There's one more thing I want to do so that we can make sure that that's all dry and done, which is colour the ribbon that will coordinate. So this is the black and white 1/4 inch gingham ribbon, and I'm going to use the light Pebbled Path Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm just going to colour that ribbon. So this is a dark colour. I'm not going to lie, it's probably not as effective as the others that I've done. It doesn't really pop as much, but I think it's still going to look nicer than leaving it white. Grab some scissors just to cut that off. That won't take long to dry, but I want it to be dry before we do some of the other stuff. Okay, right, so construction wise then, got a Pebble Path card base ready, and then I've just cut my layers of Pebble Path and black. So Pebble Path is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. So the black is 2 3/4 by 4. Okay, so I'm going to flip these over, and if you want to bring in one of these silicone mats, it's quite a nice idea, because I'm just using my stamping seal, but I want to go right to the edges on it. And if you want to protect your work surface, this silicone sheet will do that for you. And we'll position these. Oh, I've inked over it. I knew there was something else. That's the other thing, I can stick that there and it's not going to go anywhere. Right. Like, there isn't enough contrast on there. Why isn't there enough contrast on there? So let's grab some scrap there, and we'll add some ink to this. Kind of go halfway. I'm not doing it super light, but I'm not doing it real dark either. I just want to make the edge of this pop a little bit, so that we get a bit of definition on those punched pieces. Okay, so we'll just go around the edge of that. Just don't want to pick up too much ink at a time, just don't want it to go too heavy, otherwise it'll... There we go. And it doesn't necessarily have to be even either, that's fine, it can just be a bit of a grungier look. Okay, so we've got some added interest on that now. And the other thing I was going to do is, which I forgot to do on the copper clay one, was actually I added some ink just around the edges of the leaf as well, just to make those edges just a little bit darker, just coming in along the edge there. It's really subtle and totally optional, but I think it does help a little bit lift it off the rest of the card. Okay, right, resume positions. So I can lift that off that silicone sheet and just pop that onto there now. This is really pretty. The silver on the Pebble Path is nice, I like it. The ink's not dry, that's why that's not sticking so much. I am keeping the pattern on these little, I don't know what you call them, little X's. I'm keeping it in the same orientation for my design. Wouldn't say you have to necessarily, but I have chosen to keep it in the same pattern. I'm actually going to go for all 4 corners first. once they're in, I think I'll use this darker one. I think this edge is going to be the edge that I think I'll keep on this side, which is the one that's going to show more. You know what, I'm not actually that bothered if they peel up a little bit either, just to give it a bit of a, gonna give it a good press on the back. Okay, and that's our panel there. Some more seal can go onto this bit, and we can layer that onto the black. And again, this is just to help it pop from the rest of the card, because we're using a Pebble Path card base. And this is actually going to be popped up onto some dimensionals. So we'll use 5 of those. So we've got support, give them a really good press, and then pull up the back ends. Nails are too short. Yeah, I'm going to use a dab of glue just to help with the positioning on this, to make sure that I get it where I want it. Which is about there. So cool. So cool. Our lovely leaf is going to go on there, and then that's going to go directly onto cardstock to cardstock, which is going to be a better bond than it would have been straight onto the embossing. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto the back of that there. Don't want it to go off the edge of the card though. So I'm going to pop that in place. That's going to want to fight a little bit, so you may want to put a block on that just to sort of hold that down. Our sentiment's going to tuck in into the leaf a little bit, so I want it about there. So I want the dimensionals to be sort of on the bottom half of that that little punch piece. So we'll do it like that. And a little bit of wet glue on the top might help in terms of just making sure that it catches something and making sure that it stays put. We're going to have that tucking into there, like so. And then the final thing to add is our little bow. I'll say if you feel like this is a little bit too much, you have to add it, but I think it does help finish this off. Did I even do that on camera? I'm really sorry if I didn't. That's just proper glaring at you, isn't it? It's cool. Just made 2 bunny ears. Whoops. And just do a single knot with those loops. Let the end do whatever it wants to do. And pull that through. Seems to have twisted on the way around, which is unusual. Oh, dear me. Try again. There we go. So make it quite small, then pull it tight, and then your knot won't loosen too much every time you your twiddle with the tails there. We'll use a glue dot, and then I lift those off with my pokey tool, get it into position, and then you can just bend your loops a little bit to make sure your sentiment's not obscured. Just going to pop those away, and we can just snip the ends of those ribbons like so, and that's it. We are done. Okay, so wow, that's so super shiny. Okay, so there we are with our Pebble Path silver version of our card. I like it. It's something different anyway, right? Okay, and so this is the one that started it all, and then I did the copper clay version. Copper clay with copper, wild wheat with gold, Pebble Path with the silver. Okay, absolutely fantastic. Really, really love it. I would love to see what you come up with based on this idea. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Thanks for joining me today. All the product links will be in the description. Please do like and subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed that. Had fun making them, I have to say. Really, really good. So thanks for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.